Hi, my name is Izzy Coleman. I'm from Rancho Cucamonga, California, and I'm committed to Depaul University. I started playing soccer seriously probably when I was around 8 or 9. I remember being not one of the best kids, just being fast and strong and pretty big. I used to train with my dad, and I just remember that summer he really got me to where I was supposed to be. And then that's when I started really taking it serious, trying to train every day, being with more teams, training, trying out for teams, making teams, and just getting to the level that I was supposed to be at at that age. And then I'll say around later years, when I was my later year of 9, I was on Arsenal in California, and that was a pretty big league. That was the first my stepping stone of where basically I was playing at the highest level I could possibly be at that age. And then I was doing pretty good there. I played left wing, striker, and then it was a pretty good year. And then I know that when I was turned 10, and then that next following year for tryouts, I remember that's when we got introduced to DA, and I made the team for DA and all that, and the tryout went good. Then our coach left to go play soccer and to go coach in Washington, and there was a whole other tryout for that, and I made that for the new coach and everything. And during that time, that's when I kind of hit a rough patch, and I didn't have any confidence. And I remember getting cut from that team and just not being able to play anymore. And that's when I went back to the club and I played for surf. And again, I was still training with my dad. I was still getting pushed by my dad at this point, and I liked it. And I took the lessons that he taught me, and I just transferred it to the field. And I just remember from being on that surf team, it brought me other opportunities, when LAFC was coming back, starting their academy. I got to try out with them and try to mix the later phases of their team. But then that's when I got the call, my family was all gonna move to Washington to hopefully have a better life, and that's what we ended up doing. And I got the opportunity to play with the Sounders, Seattle Sounders Academy, and they're a pre-academy. And then that was when I entered another rough patch. And I was playing club for Federal Way FC in Washington, and I was playing. And the way the Sounders Academy worked up was that it was a pre-academy, so you were on there, but you're also on your club team. And I was on that for around it was off and on for 2 years until they made their actual academy. And that's when I left Federal Way, I left Sounders, and I went to Eastside FC. And during that point, I had 2 injuries from just growing. I had a foot fracture, and I had a knee problem, which followed me throughout the whole season. And I couldn't really play my best during that whole time. And basically that wasn't the best season for me, especially. I was still working on with my dad, but it was just kind of hard for that. I had no confidence really. But luckily for Washington's ODP team, I did get there, and that was my 3rd year by the time I was on the East Side. And I got the opportunity to play playing the Western ODP Championship, where fortunately Shattuck went to go scout me, and they liked me and how I played left back. And I got the opportunity, I got the email from Coach Bowers to come here, and it was a pretty like hard decision for my family, especially since I was the oldest and I was leaving behind 2 other siblings and 1 baby that was gonna come on the way, so in total 3. And at the height of COVID too, so it was a tough decision for my family. It was something that they didn't really want to lose me, because I was a key member to the family, and I was something that like this new challenge, like a new baby, a new sibling that was gonna come in, which is gonna be like something that was new to the family. They needed my help, so they were like kind of like reluctant to like have me leave, but I knew it was like the best decision and the best opportunity for me. So I ended up moving there in August. Started off my days at Shattuck, and every day I just like look back on it, and I'm thankful that like my family was able to make the decision. And just being like that young boy like in California, probably like scared of the world, scared of like the soccer journey, to like coming here and having the opportunity to practice and play every day. It is something that I'm really grateful for. And last season's, I would say like my 16th season, it was probably pretty difficult, like the way for me coming and like moving from home and everything, but like I stuck to it and I stick through it. And then that led me into the 17th season, which I would say like I really somehow like came out of my shell. Somehow I started like scoring, like getting more into attack, and like as from the left back position, and that got me to where I'm in now, and committed, and basically starting that whole journey. My development at Shattuck really, like, especially since it was from the ages of 15 until I graduate. I'm a junior right now, or a rising senior right now. So 15 through 17, just those years are really gonna be vital for me. And then just working on the key things that I need to do, like 1v1 defending, like taking the first touch, all those little things that add up to big things that really just determine if you can like make it to the next level. And that's just something I need to focus on, something I have been focusing on. I just need to like carry that through. I would say basically what started and what helped was just like playing my game, taking the things that like the coaches would say to me and applying that to the game, to where when we went to like these big showcases in like in California, like MLS Next, I believe it was called Fest. Was it Fest? Yeah, it was Fest. And I just remember being there and then being extremely nervous for the first game. But the season kind of prepared us to get to that moment. And I just remember it was a night game. I was extremely nervous. It was in California, so like my family was able to come out. And I just remember seeing all these like scouts just cross the line. There was like Villanova, I think UCLA, University of Washington, just so many of like these top-notch schools that were just there. And just warming up the sideline, like my stomach was dropping, like everything was just a nervous game. And going out there on the field, and then for the first time like touching that ball, knowing like at this moment could like not necessarily like decide my whole future, but like it could play a very vital part, and in which it ended up doing. I would think that weekend I had a well performance that I will showing out. I scored another goal in like the last game, and I just remember that last game happening, and I was able to go with my parents and my grandparents to hang out with them for the day, since we were gonna end up leaving like the next day. And I just remember like getting out the car to go to like a restaurant. I'll be like 30 minutes after the game, and just getting like that first text message from a school. It was the University of Sacramento. And just being like excited and like knowing like this time, like this, I'm entering that time where I have to communicate, and like it was communicate with colleges, and it's like a big moment. And like that's even something that my mom told me, like this is a big moment in your life right now. And prior to that, I remember like my whole team, including me, like we're sending out emails and like talking to these colleges, like, oh, come watch our game, like sending highlight tapes, making highlight tapes, sending them out, saying like, my name is so-and-so, I play so-and-so position, and here's my schedule for this season, or here's my schedule for this upcoming tournament. And we did that, and then like seeing those schools like actually show up to those certain events, it kind of gives you pressure, but like gives you the right pressure to know that you have to go and you have to perform. And I necessarily didn't send those emails out, but I just remember I got lucky in the sense that like they came out, they liked me, and they saw me, and I was completely shocked about like just how fast that whole process moved for my situation. It doesn't happen for everybody. Like everyone's story is different. And just basically once that first message like entered in, a whole like that's when it just started like more and more started coming in. And like these came in text messages, in the form of text messages, in the form of emails of just like them, which would later become a phone call when you talk to the coach for the first time, when they basically like express their ideals, what they like about you, like what they see moving forward. And I remember having like a couple of those like keep like more and more throughout the season. And then that later time, I would say probably around March or February, I remember getting a text message from Depaul. And at that moment, I read it through. It was right before our practice, and it was a pretty long text message. And I was just like, I was excited for it. And they said they wanted to speak to me on the phone. I organized that call pretty quick, and I was on the phone with them, and I just like, they explained to me like their program, like what the ideals were, and just where they saw me. And they wanted me to bring me out on a visit to Chicago, and I was all in for it. And I had everything set up out of the NCAA, like my profile and everything set up. So I was all in for it. I wasn't expecting the outcome of what happened after that visit to happen. Fortunately, it happened. I ended up committing there, but it was just, I'm blessed and I'm thankful for the opportunity that happened. The factors of what I've seen, or what I thought after my visit, and what made me commit to Depaul was just that certainly like location played a vital role. It wasn't extremely big, but I always wanted to like live in like a city similar, like a big city, and Chicago just seemed like one of like a perfect place to be in for me to grow as like a person and generally too. The environment was something that I really liked about the university. Just like the way the players interact with each other, just way like the students I saw, because I went to, I believe it was like a student athlete function right for a basketball game, and just seeing like all those student athletes there, and like seeing that they had common goals but at the same time could have fun, was something that like really stuck with me, and something that I saw, and I was just like, yeah, this is a place that like I could see myself in the future, like living and like getting myself to the next level as a person and as a soccer player. I'll say the coaching staff was something very vital for me that I saw. They're all pretty young. There's people that like I can see myself growing around, and like people that I wouldn't be afraid of to like ask for help and like communicate with. Another this is kind of funny, but like just it matters to some people, but just like the brand of who they're sponsored by. I really like Nike. I don't like Under Armour, so they're Under Armour. That would be kind of bad, but like it would be there. There's more, I think. Oh, the academic side of things, like just like any other school, you have to have like a backup plan for like even like if soccer doesn't work out in the like your major and something like that. And like I saw that like I can get into like a really good major like civil engineering and something like that, and they can put me on, the university can help me, since it's in such a sprawling like a big city, I could get a job like just like that pretty fast, like after I graduated, and like get help and put on like the city, and like especially Chicago, somewhere I could see myself like living for like the rest of my life. And I think those like 4 topics were probably like the things that like I talked with my family about after my visit, I talked with friends about, And I just saw those topics, and I was like, at the end of the day, these all align to like my core ideals and what I believe in. I really think this is the place that I can see myself going and see myself growing and like becoming a better soccer player and a better person. I would say the number one thing that like someone that is looking to play at the D1 level would want is that number one piece of advice is like, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be scared of like any outcome or anything that you think that can like happen that'll be bad. I would say that just keep your confidence, because the key thing is that when you have confidence, you play your best. And if you have anything in your mind that's just like doubtful or just like you're scared of, you're just not gonna perform well. And that's just something that it's scary at times when you play at these big events, you play these big showcases, or you look into even when you look into the future and you see yourself and you're scared of like what you're gonna become or like what's gonna happen or what opportunities you can see yourself. I'd say just don't be scared of like going out on the field. Just be confident on the way you play. Be confident with your abilities and your skill. And just no matter if there's other players, other teammates, just go out there and just play your game. Thank you for listening to my story. I'm very appreciative. And subscribe to Adolfo.